Welcome back to episode 14 of Be a GM with the Minnesota Wild in the second season here on Dynasty Central Sports using NHL 21, and thank you for joining us. If you are coming off the last episode, we are jumping into December from December 2021 into January 2022, and right now I have a lot of decisions to make because currently we are in the bottom of the Central Division and not a lot of great looking up right now. Getzlaf leads the team with 42 points in 40 games. Kaprizov with 32, Niederreiter, a new addition, 23, Fiala with 15, Connor Garland, another new addition, 15 points, HARTMAN and KOTKANIEMI, 14 and 13, Adam Gaudette with 13, and Dumba with 12. So right now, if you did not see the last episode, Robert Backstrom, currently the number one prospect in the draft class. He is projected to be a franchise center from Sweden that is a playmaker. This guy is giving me the dreams of having a number one center in Minnesota. I mean, having him paired up with Kirill Kaprizov for 8 to 10 plus years, a franchise center. I need to either tank to get that first overall pick or trade for it. If we tank and we don't get that first overall pick, at least we could have a top 4 or 5 pick where we could use that and future picks to trade up for that number one pick is a little easier to do. So we're going to sim through January, the first one, because we're going to go to that Detroit game, and Washington has fired their head coach, Adrian Healy. We got a bunch of wins to start off January, and we're going to go to that Detroit game because I want to see how this month goes. If we don't do well or anything like that, or I do want to push down and maybe tank this season, that is where I want to make a couple trades between this and the Detroit game. I want to cut some cap off this, and Michael LeBeau, my coach, he's concerned about a lack of scoring. We got, after 49 games, we got a serious lack of goal production. We need to address this. Well, I understand that. I could persuade him. We need more time. I need to address that with our scoring, and it is tough. You know, goal scorers don't grow on trees, so I'm skeptical if that fix will help, but I'm willing to give it a shot. Okay. Give me a time. I want to move some players, maybe pull up, move a big contract, or try to move a big contract that has a long term for a big contract for a short term, like I did with Parise for Niederreiter, or moving Zuccarello for Connor Garland and a third round pick. So now with that Detroit game, we're a 16, 23, and 10. Writing is on the wall that we aren't going to make playoffs. So let's move Ryan Suter. I would think that was a crazy idea, but the fact that he doesn't really have great value anymore, even though he's considered a top 4 defenseman in this game, especially based on overall. He is 86 overall, so let's move him from Max Pacioretty to the Vegas Golden Knights. He has 16 goals, which really helps our goal scoring. He doesn't really have a lot of goal assist and playmaking skills, but he's still a good playmaker, considered to be on the first line. $6.8 million contract, but he's only signed for 2 more seasons, and that includes this season. 16 goals, 9 assists, still brings in the goal scoring, and we lose $7.54 in the $1 million for 4 more years from Ryan Suter. Let's see if we can make this trade. Maybe let's see if we can add maybe 420 in a low defenseman, so I don't have to bring up a prospect into our system. Let's see if I can get maybe a third instead of, let's see if we can get that third from the Vegas Golden Knights in the 2022 draft. See if I can use that to add into a trade up for that first overall pick. So let's see if Suter for Pacioretty and a third round pick, and that's going to get rejected. We're a little bit off in value in the proposal. Doesn't meet their trade block. Whatever. I think that's a pretty generic answer. So let's see if I can just pull in a depth defenseman to add to the roster, so I don't have to bring up a prospect like I said. And I really do like Mirko Mueller. I wish he had a much better career. He's signed for 3 years, a $1.37 million contract, 76 overall, so he could most likely go down to the HL if he does get picked off waivers. I'm not too sad about it. He's a top 6 defenseman, and he's still a solid player, and they will accept that. So we're going to trade Ryan Suter for Max Pacioretty, an American-born winger that can snipe the puck pretty well, and Mirko Mueller, a Swiss defenseman that could play depth. We're losing a lot of morale through the roster, but honestly, I don't really care about that. We're going to move and lose a lot of morale just because we're trading a lot of players that have roots into this team. And, sometimes pulling off a Band-Aid is hard, especially when it's an old one. Kaprizov with Getzlaf and Niederreiter, Pacioretty, KOTKANIEMI, and Garland, Greenway, Gaudette, and Hartman, Fiala now on the fourth line, Johnson and Foligno on the fourth line. That's going to be an interesting fourth line. We may have to focus on the fact that Fiala is now on the fourth line, even though he's supposed to be the goal scorer. Why isn't he up on that first line with Getzlaf and Kaprizov? I don't know yet. Brodin, Dumba, Susie, Spurgeon. Mueller is now with Honka, and Mueller jumped up to a 79 overall. So he's pretty excited to be on this team. He does have 1 assist in 15 games so far, so it's not like he's blowing the doors off. But he's a defensive defenseman, still 26 years old, 6'3", 210, a big body defensive defenseman that can play third pairing defensive pairings. It's good. We're in a reverse retro host in the Detroit Red Wings. They're going to go in their classic Winter Classic uniforms. I like the retro look of both these uniforms, and we're going to start the game off between the Red Wings and the Wild in the first period in XL Synergy in Minnesota. All right, the Wild are controlling the puck. Brodin with the shot. Let's move ahead to this 17-11 mark of the first period. Face-off inside the Red Wings zone to the left of their goaltender. Over to Pacioretty. Pacioretty over to Garland. Pacioretty with a backhand snipe. And that's the first goal for Max Pacioretty in a Wild uniform. And that's why we picked him up for Ryan Suter, who never scores goals because he's a defensive defenseman. And now we picked up Max Pacioretty in his first shift. Gets a goal for a Wild uniform on the backhand, assisted by KOTKANIEMI and Connor Garland. That is a newcomer, and take a look at the abomination of Matt Dumba's bobblehead. Holy shit. All right, 9:02 mark of the second period. Puck's in the corner. Honka gets a big hit from a Red Wings, and Pius Suter takes a big hit from Kevin Fiala. Shot on goal from Kane on the Red Wings, and now it is the third period, 1-0. Wild are playing a great defensive game, and Max Pacioretty could have the game winner in his first game and a Wild uniform. Kulikov over to Zadina. Zadina holds the puck in the zone. He's got a delayed penalty. Big save from Cam Talbot, and the Wild are going to go on the PK with a slash and penalty from Luke Johnson, the Chicago Blackhawks prospect, Minnesota-born prospect. And now we got Gaudette Fiala out on the PK with the Red Wings threatening to tie it up with a 1 goal. Will tie it up in this one. It's a close game. Big hit on the Wild, and that's a missed block, empty net from the Wild. Wild control in their own zone. A shot, and that's an empty net goal from the Wild from the point, and that's Jonas Brodin with a goal from the blue line, and that's an empty net. The Red Wings could not stop it. 2-0 in this one. The fourth goal of the season from Jonas Brodin, and that's on the PK. It's a shorty for the Swedish defenseman from Leksand, Sweden. No, he's from Karlstad, Sweden. He played for Färjestad BK, just like Theo Tuggerson of our BIA Pro series. Go check that out. Wild still holding a lead with 12 seconds left in the third. Still on the PK. Fabry now has it over to Kane. Takes a big hit. That's the Wild. Move it out. Fabry misses that shot from Zadina. Now the puck is, the Wild have it over to Dumba's shot, and that's a goal from Adam Gaudette. Puts that into the empty goal mouth, makes it 3-0, and the Wild are just pouring on the points to make the Red Wings feel bad for trying to get a first goal of the game. Gaudette puts it in, makes it 3-0, and Cam Talbot most likely is going to get a, I'm not going to say the word yet until the end of this period. Iafallo against Ryan Getzlaf on this faceoff at center ice. The puck will drop. That's the end of the third. That's a shutout for Cam Talbot and the Minnesota Wild. Great goals from Max Pacioretty. We got an empty net goal from Jonas Brodin, and we got an empty net goal from Adam Gaudette. 3-0. Wild gets goose eggs, and I know that's very counterintuitive to what my plan is, so we can lose, so we can either have a high pick and then trade for the first, or tank to get the first overall pick. But you know what? I just like the fact that we got some additions to the team and they came through and got us a winner in the first game. Let's head back and see how we do to finish off this month with Nashville going in and into the February of 2021. We get a 4-1 win over Nashville. Now Getzlaf leads the team with 52 points. Kaprizov with 40, Pacioretty with 28, Niederreiter 25, Garland with 22, Fiala with 21, KOTKANIEMI with 20, Gaudette with 17, and HARTMAN with 15. Take a look at the next month. We have trade deadline coming up, and I might be selling some big players, so that might be the bulk of next episode. That will be episode 15. I might feature this Toronto game or the Canadiens game, maybe this Avalanche game as well. One of those games. Let me know what you think. And then we got the trade deadline coming up. Selling at the trade deadline. Thank you for watching episode 14. Missed last week, but check out the short film we just dropped yesterday on the channel. Check it out. Let us know what you think and shout it out if you love it. Like and subscribe down below. Hit us up with a comment, and we'll see you next episode. Episode 15 of Wild Be a GM. We'll see you later.